yours respectively, N. Winkle. The above is a manly and handsome acknowledgement of past mis, misdemeanors. If our young friend studied punctuation, it would be well. A sad accident. On Friday last, we were startled by a violent shock in our basement, followed by cries of distress. On rushing in a body to the cellar, we discovered our beloved president prostrate on the floor. Let me highlight this one. And I think, where was it? Yeah, there's another word that I want to see. Okay, on the floor, having tripped and fallen while getting wood for domestic purposes. A pattern of ruin met our eyes, for Pickwick had plunged his head and shoulders into a tube of water, upset a geck of soft soap upon his manly form, and torn his garments badly. What is this garments? On being removed from this perilous situation, it was discovered that he had suffered no injury but several bruises, and we are happy to add is now doing well. Ed. The public bereavement. It is our painful duty to record the sudden and mysterious disappearance of our cherished friend, Mrs. Snowball Papo. This lovely and beloved cat was the pet of a large circle of warm and admiring friends, for her beauty attracted all eyes. Her graces and virtues endured, endured, ended, ended her to all hearts, and her loss is deeply felt by the whole community. When last seen, sitting at the gate, watching the butcher relinquish all hope, tie a black ribbon to her basket, set aside her dish, and weep for her as one lost to us forever. A sympathizing friend sends the following gem. A lament for S.B. Patpo. We mourn the loss of our little pet and sigh o'er her hapless fate, for never more by the fire she'll sit, nor play by the old green gate. The little grave where her infant sleeps is 'neath the chestnut tree. Beyond her grave we may not weep. We know not where it may be. Her empty bed, her idle ball, will never see her more. No gentle tap, no loving burr is heard at the parlour door. Another cat comes after her mice, a cat with a dirty face. But she does not hunt as our darling did, nor play with her airy grace. Her stealthy paws tread the very hall Noble used to play, but she only spits at the dogs a bet so bluntly drove away. She is useful and mild and does her best, but she is not fair to see, and we cannot give her your place there, nor worship her as we worship thee. A. C. A. Advertisements. Miss of Orothy. Bluggish. Okay. Bluggish. The accomplished, strong-minded lecturer will deliver her famous lecture on women and her position at Pickwick Hall next Saturday evening after the usual performances. A weekly meeting will be held at Kitchen Place to teach young ladies how to cook. Hannah Brown will preside. All are invited to attend. The Dustpan Society will meet on Wednesday next and parade in the upper story of the clubhouse. All members to appear in uniform and shoulders the brooms at 9 precisely. Mrs. Beth Pouncer will, upon her new assortment of dolls millinery next week. The latest Paris fashions have arrived, and orders are respectfully solicited. I think. A new play will appear at the Barnvale Theatre in the course of a few weeks, which will suppress anything ever surpass anything ever seen on the American stage. The Greek Slave, or Constantine the Avenger, is the name of this thrilling drama. Hence, FSP didn't use so much soap on his hands the day he wouldn't always be late at breakfast. AS not to whistle in the street. TT, please don't forget. Amy's napkin. NW must not fret because his dress has not 9 tucks. Weekly report. Meg, good. Joe, bad. Beth, very good. Amy, middling. As the president finished reading the paper, which I beg leave to assure my readers is a bona fide copy of one written by bona fide girls once upon a time. A round of applause followed, and then Mr. Snodgrass rose to make a proposition. Mr. President and gentlemen, he began, assuming a parliamentary attitude and tone, I wish to propose the admission of a new member, one who highly deserves the honor, would be deeply for it, and would add immensely to the spirit of the club, the literary value of the paper, and be no end jolly and nice. I propose Mr. Theodore Lawrence as an honorary member of the PC. Come now, do have him. Joe's sudden change of tone made the girls laugh, but all looked rather anxious, and no one said a word as Snodgrass took his seat. We'll put it to a vote, said the president. All in favor of this motion, please to manifest it by saying A. Oh, I think it's A. A loud response from Snodgrass followed, to everybody's surprise, by a timid one from Beth. Contrary-minded say no. Meg and Amy were contrary-minded, and Mr. Winkle rose to say, with great eloquence, we don't wish any boys. They only joke and bounce about. This is a ladies' club, and we wish to be private and proper. I'm afraid he'll laugh at our paper and make fun of us afterward, observed Pickwick, pulling the little curl on her forehead, as she always did when doubtful. Up rose Snodgrass, very much in earnest. Sir, I give you my word, as gentleman, Laurie won't do anything of the sort. He likes to write, and he'll give a tone to our contributions and keep us from being sentimental, don't you see? We can do so little for him, and he does so much for us. I think he I think the least we can do is to offer him a place here and make him welcome if he comes. This artful allusion to benefits conferred brought Tumpan to his feet, looking as if he had quite made up his mind. Yes, we it. Even if we are afraid, I say he may come, and his grandpa too, if he likes. This spirited outburst from Beth electrified the club, and Jo left her seat to shake hands approvingly. Now then, vote again. Everybody remember it's our lorry and say A, cried Snodgrass excitedly. A, replied three voices at once. Good. Bless you. Now, as there is nothing like taking time by fetlock, as Winkle characteristically observes, allow me to present the new members, and to the dismay of the rest of the club, Jo threw upon the door of the closet, and displayed Laurie sitting on a rag bag, flushed and twinkling with suppressed laughter. You rogue, you traitor. Jo, how could you? Cried the three girls, as Snowdrags led her friend triumphantly forth, and producing both a chair and a budge, installed him in a jiffy. The coolness of you two rascals. Rascals is amazing, began Mr. Pickwick, trying to get up an oval frown. And only succeeding in producing an amiable smile. But the new member the occasion, and rising with a graceful salutation to the chair, and said in the most engaging manner, Mr. President and ladies, I beg pardon, gentlemen, allow me to introduce myself as Sam Weller, the very humble servant of the club. Good, cried Jo, bounding with the handle of the old warming pan on which she leaned. My faithful friend and noble patron, continued Tory, with a wave of the hand, who has so flatteringly presented me, is not to be blamed for the pace, stratagem of tonight. I planned it, and she only gave in after lots of teasing. Come now, don't lay it all on yourself. You know, I proposed the cupboard, broke in Snodgrass, who was enjoying the joke amazingly. Never you mind what she says. I'm the rich that did it, sir, said the new member, with a well risk nod to Mr. Pickwick. But on my honour, I never will do so again, and henceforth devote myself to the interests of this immortal club. Hear, hear, cried Jo, clashing the lid of the warming pan like a cymbal. Go on, added Winkle and Tumpman, while the president bowed benignly. Wow, this one. I merely wish to say that as a slight token of my gratitude for the honour done me, and as a means of promoting friendly relations between adjoining nations, I have set up a post office in the hedge and the lower corner of the garden, a fine spacious building with padlocks on the door, and every convenience for the males, also the females, if I may be allowed the expression. It is the old Martin house, but I stopped up the door and made the roof open so it will hold all sorts of things and save our valuable time. Letters, manuscripts, books, and bundles can be passed in there, and as each nation has a key, it will be uncommonly nice. I fancy Allah, I be uncommonly nice, I fancy. Allow me to present the club key, and with many thanks for your favour, take my seat. Great applause as Mr. Weller deposited a little key on the table and subsided. The warming pan clutched and waved wildly, and it was some time before order could be resorted. A long discussion followed, and everyone came out surprising, for everyone did her best. So it was an unusual lively meeting, and did not adjourn till a late hour, when it broke up with 3 shrill cheers for the new member. No one ever regretted the admittance of Sam Weller for a more devoted, well-behaved, and jovial member no club could have. He certainly did add spirit to the meeting and a tone to the paper, for his orations confused his hearers, and his contributions were excellent, being patriotic, classical, comical, or dramatic, but never sentimental. Joe regarded them as worthy of Bacon, Milton, or Shakespeare, and remolded. Oh wow, 17 minutes, good. And remolded her own works with good effects, she thought. The P.O. was a capital little institution, and flourished wonderfully, for nearly as many strange things passed through it as through the real office. Tragedies and cravats, poetry and pickles. Let me highlight this one. Garden seeds and long letters, music and gingerbread, robbers, invitations, scoldings and puppies. The old gentleman liked the fun and amused himself by sending odd bundles, mysterious messages, and funny telegrams, and his gardener, who was smitten with Hannah's charms, actually sent a love letter to Joe's care. How they laughed when the secret came out, never dreaming how many love letters that little post office would hold in the years